Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Rain fell gently on the windows of the small midtown restaurant, giving the neighborhood lights a shimmering, almost magical glow. Inside, the atmosphere was hushed, the clinking of plates, the murmur of conversations, and the warm aroma of coffee mingled in a familiar yet reassuring dance. Behind the counter, Maya Johnson, a young black woman of understated yet radiant beauty, nervously wiped a tray. Her eyes were red and moist, and each movement seemed heavier than the last. She had just endured a difficult day, dismissive customers, hurtful comments about her clothing or her service, and the constant feeling that, no matter how hard she tried, no one truly saw her. A few tables away, a man watched her silently. Derek Williams, in his 30s, still bearing the marks of a veteran's past, didn't want to interrupt his work, but his heart ached at the sight of this young woman crying silently. He remembered his own nights when he felt invisible, alone with his struggles. When Maya went to serve other customers, Derek grabbed a piece of paper and a pen from the table. He took a deep breath and wrote a few simple but powerful words, hoping they would reach his weary soul. "You are stronger than you think. Never let anyone turn out your light. D.W." He slipped the note onto his plate and left quietly, leaving behind a mystery and a spark of hope. A few minutes later, Maya returned to her table and noticed the paper. Intrigued, she picked it up in her trembling hands. Her eyes scanned the words, and for the first time in days, a shiver of warmth and comfort ran through her. This simple word, unfamiliar in her handwriting but imbued with a rare sincerity, had just touched something deep within her. She didn't yet know that this small gesture would trigger a series of events capable of transforming her life forever. The next morning, the sun barely filtered through the New York skyscrapers, and the city still seemed asleep. Maya Johnson entered the restaurant, her heart heavy but curious. She couldn't forget the note left the day before. Every time she reread it in her mind, she felt a strange mixture of hope and gratitude. The restaurant was quiet, almost empty, and she immediately noticed Derek Williams, sitting at the same table as the day before. He had ordered a black coffee and was gazing distractedly out the window, but as soon as he looked up, he met Maya's gaze. A warm smile spread across his face, and he made a discreet gesture to invite her over. Hesitantly, Maya stepped forward. Her heart was pounding. Derek spoke first, his voice soft but confident. "I just wanted to make sure you found my word." Maya, moved, nodded her head. "Yes. Thank you. I don't know why, but it really touched me." He smiled, as if these words were not just for her, but for something greater. Sometimes a small gesture may seem insignificant, but it can change the way someone sees the world, or sees themselves. Maya felt a knot untie in her chest. She had never met anyone who truly saw her, who noticed her pain without judging her. For the first time in a long time, she dared to smile fully. Derek continues. "You have something special, Maya. And I'm not just talking about your work here. There's a strength within you that you don't yet suspect. Never let anyone make you doubt that." The words resonated within her like a powerful echo. She felt a new energy growing inside her, something that was beginning to replace fear and sadness with confidence and hope. Before getting up to leave, Derek added, "You deserve better than what this world can sometimes give you. Never forget that." Maya stood frozen for a few moments, watching the man leave the restaurant, his coffee in hand, his smile still etched in her memory. That moment, though brief, had just marked the beginning of her transformation. She knew her life would never be the same again. And in this newfound calm, she made a silent decision to change his life, whatever the cost. In the days that followed, Maya felt a new energy coursing through her. Every morning, upon waking, she thought of Derek's words and his kind gaze. Even when a customer was rude or an order was spilled, something inside her had changed. She straightened up, held her head high, and faced the day with a confidence she had never felt before. One afternoon, while she was serving a table of regular customers, an incident occurred. A drunk man tried to make derogatory remarks to her. In the past, Maya would have lowered her eyes, apologized, and endured the humiliation. But this time, she took a deep breath and replied calmly but firmly. I would ask you to please respect this place and the people who work here. The man stared at her for a moment, surprised by her confidence, then grunted and turned away. Maya felt a surge of pride. It was the first time she had truly stood up for herself, and the feeling was liberating. This newfound confidence did not escape the notice of his colleagues and the restaurant manager, Mr. Thompson, a strict but fair man. A few days later, he called him into his office. Maya, I've noticed your change. Your professionalism and positive attitude are attracting customers and improving the restaurant's atmosphere. I think it's time for you to take on more responsibility. Maya felt her heart race. He offered her a supervisor position, with more responsibilities and a better salary. For her, it was much more than a promotion, it was proof that believing in yourself could transform your life. That evening, after her shift, she took Derek's note out of her wallet and reread it. She found herself smiling, realizing that this simple gesture, this small word of encouragement, had been the catalyst for a profound change. Maya began to promise herself something. One day, I will do for someone what Derek did for me. She wanted to spread that spark of light which, as she had discovered, could change the course of a life. Weeks passed, and Maya's transformation no longer went unnoticed. Regular clients flocked to her, appreciating her kindness, professionalism, and the genuine smile she now offered. Even the most cynical colleagues began to notice a difference in her attitude. She seemed more confident, more radiant, and her energy was contagious. One afternoon, while she was serving a table of wealthy customers, an elegant man approached her with a notebook in his hand. Excuse me, miss, but I own a small group of restaurants in Manhattan. I've observed your work ethic, your attitude, your charisma, and I believe you have potential that you could tap into at a much higher level. Maya, surprised and a little suspicious, simply replied. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Simply say that you are willing to try, he replied with a smile. A few days later, she accepted an interview for a management position at a larger, reputable restaurant where her creativity and ability to handle difficult customers would be valuable assets. She then realized something powerful. Derek's words had helped her believe in herself, and that confidence had opened doors she never imagined she could walk through. At the end of her day at the restaurant where she still worked, Maya sat for a few moments, the notes still in her wallet. She remembered how, a few weeks ago, she had cried silently behind the counter, feeling invisible and insignificant. Now, she felt seen, valued, and capable of changing her life. For the first time, she understood that the power of a sincere word could surpass anything she had imagined. It could heal, inspire, and transform. And from that moment on, Maya decided she would never again be passive in the face of her life. She would seize every opportunity, push every boundary, and above all, she would one day offer someone the same spark of hope that Derek had given her. A few months later, Maya had started her new job at the prestigious restaurant. Every day, she felt that inner strength that never left her, that quiet courage instilled in her by a single word. The customers respected her authority, her colleagues now considered her a role model, and she finally felt she belonged in the world. One evening, after finishing her shift, she decided to meet up with Derek. The park where they had first met seemed like the perfect place. She saw him sitting on a bench, lost in thought, his gaze turned towards the starry sky. Derek, she murmured. He looked up and smiled, recognizing Maya. Maya, wow, what a change. I see you've found your light. She sat down next to him, a genuine smile on her lips. You were right. Your words, they changed everything. They gave me confidence, and now I'm able to believe in myself and face my life. Thank you. Derek shook his head humbly. I only did what everyone should do. Believe in someone, sometimes that's all they need to reveal themselves. Maya felt a wave of emotion. Then she took a small notebook out of her bag and opened it. I started writing words of encouragement for others, for those who feel invisible or lost. I want to give someone the same spark you gave me. Derek smiled broadly, his eyes shining with silent pride. That's exactly what was needed. You've become more than inspiring, Maya. You are now a light for others. They remained there, sitting side by side, watching the city sparkle around them. And in that simple yet profound moment, Maya understood that kindness and belief in others could be passed on, bursting forth in unknown lives and changing the world, one person at a time. That night, Maya made a silent vow to continue this chain of light, convinced that sometimes, a word could truly save a life and transform 1,000 others.